Hi, this is State Representative Barry Jozwiak. I'm at the 104th Pennsylvania Farm Show here in Harrisburg, and I'm here with Secretary Russell Redding from the Department of Agriculture. This is a great day, Mr. Secretary.
Great day. Welcome. Happy New Year, too.
So Happy New Year to you, and thank you for taking the time out to have a little interview with us. And you know, there's some new things here today, this farm show. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you will see signage in particular hanging and on the floors and different places as a reminder about the workforce and jobs in agriculture. So just be aware of that as you travel around. We spend a lot of time talking about the people we need in this industry to help it grow and replenish the workforce. You'll see that. You can go to the duck slide, Jozwiak, right in your backyard.
Right. I know exactly where it
is there. They did a beautiful waterfowl exhibit this year. We've added new food items in the food court. New item, if you like the food court, but also just sort of the show ring and youth and livestock, new stuff on the culinary stage. So every place you go, there's something new.
You know, Jozwiak just bought part of Oneonta Orchards, and they're putting some of their operation in the borough of Leesport. Actually, it's in Oneonta Township.
Okay.
It's right by Leesport. Yeah. So it's good for the economy of Berks County.
Yeah,
good. And he's an amazing duck grower. You know,
they've got a great story. You know, one of their points to us last year, we used to have a duck slide here, and everybody loved it.
Yeah.
But it didn't show them in like a natural habitat. And his suggestion was, why don't we do something at the waterfowl, right? Let's use the water tank. And so there's a beautiful exhibit over here in the poultry and the fowl area. So I appreciate that feedback and his support.
Oh, absolutely. I will absolutely have to go see that because it's in my district, and it's important for me to know what they're doing. By the way, the new PA Farm Bill, you know, let's move on to that. There's some new things in there, and how's that moving along with the farmers?
You know, there are a couple things that we've done that I consider really transformative, right? And that Farm Bill was intentional. 16 different bills that came together. Thank you for your support, by the way. And you know, they spoke to all of the things that we've spent time worrying about. You know, from dairy to conservation to youth and disease and our preparedness as a state for things like African swine fever, spotted lanternfly. All of that's inside this Farm Bill. So amazing sort of piece of legislation that came together, just because it touches every corner of Pennsylvania.
You know, you mentioned the spotted lanternfly. In my house, I have a little orchard, and we have plenty of spotted lanternflies. We're in Bern Township, and I thought last year I was hearing that there wasn't as many around, but I saw just as many in my place. I know we've been moving along on that, and we've been making some good strides. Where are we with that control?
Yeah, I wish I could give you like the answer that, hey, we found a solution. We haven't. I will say though that we have it still contained to the 14 counties. We have 22 different research projects that are underway. You know, that are part of our international, national. So some hosted right here at Penn State. We're making progress. The business community has responded well. We've got 1 million permits, 20,000 businesses have registered because they know as they move product out of Berks County, out of Pennsylvania, other states are asking about concerns. So, but we're working hard at it. I appreciate your leadership on trying to, to support us through the research and funding through the Farm Bill.
Sure. Really
critical.
Actually, we go to the credits with the Penn State Extension, which you guys are very well involved in, and those professors and research people, Greg and I forget the lady's name.
Great team.
Oh, they're doing a wonderful job, and every year there's just a little bit more. They're getting better at it, and we'll come up with a solution.
We'll find a solution, and I have the confidence because of past experiences with pest and invasive issues that we find solutions for it. It's not immediate.
Right.
There's a lot we know about the spotted lanternfly, and unfortunately, there's still things we're learning. You know, but we'll get there.
You know, in Berks County, there's a few people starting to get into the hemp business. And I just saw there's some new regulations came out on hemp permitting. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I just read your press release that it just came out like a week or two ago.
Right. Yeah, I'm excited about it. So for 77 years, you know, we were out of the hemp business.
Right.
In 2014, the federal Farm Bill gave us the authority to come back in, and then some further, changes in 2018, which Pennsylvania's taken full advantage of. We have 342 permits last year, 4,000 acres. For the 2020 year, As you note, the application period is just open.
Right.
So if they're a grower, want to be a grower, you can do that. If you want to be a processor, you can do that. You have a couple of exhibits here, Ole Hemp, which is just up the way here, cat litter, right? So I often think about these creative uses of hemp.
Yeah.
7 times as absorbent as the traditional.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So there's one.
I did not know it, and I have a cat.
Yeah, well, I'll direct you to his booth, but really amazing. We've got a car here that has hemp material, the cosmetics, there's hemp tea in the food court.
I saw that.
So, yeah, we're excited about it. I mean, I think it's got a lot of potential. I always put up the caution flag about markets, right? We have to find and build those markets, and we're doing that as we find our way into hemp.
And you've also expanded the amount of land that can be used to grow the hemp. You went from 50 acres to unlimited, I suppose.
Yeah, we took a lot of heat several years ago for putting a cap on the number of permits and a cap on acreage.
Okay.
And felt like, at the government level, it's not really our job, right? And to get the right structure around it, but if you want to grow 100 acres, go, right? As long as that's your market, your investment. And that's proven very, very critical to our growth here, because you need about 5,000 acres to attract investment in processing. We were at 4,000 acres last year. So I think as we look forward, that's going to be a key piece.
I know a few people in Berks County that they're getting into the growing and processing, and they've been ordering equipment. And I think the equipment is coming from Western United States. I think Colorado, but I'm not sure. Okay. Or Canada, maybe. Might be coming from up there.
Yeah.
And they're very excited about it, and I forwarded your email to them so that they would know about the permits. And I think it's going to replace the tobacco industry eventually.
I think it's got a lot of potential. I say to everybody, if you look just at the listing of what is possible, you can do cosmetics, you can do food products. I think personally one of the big areas is sort of the animal feed. We're working on research trials right now to approve it from a nutritional standpoint. It's a great nutrition for animal. We're a livestock dependent state. Food, I mean, just make your list. So I think it's got a lot of opportunity.
It does. I think they're still figuring out stuff to use it for. And also, I have one more question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please.
The dairy farmers. I got a lot of dairy farmers in my area, and I know the Farm Bill did address some of that with grants to them. But we're still concerned about the dairy farmers. We have a couple of bills that Representative Lawrence just put in, I think it was early December. Has to do with the Milk Marketing Board, and I forget the other one.
Yeah.
But we want to touch on that a little bit, just what we're doing to help the dairy farmers. They need some help here.
They do need help, and I appreciate you bringing it up, because it's 30%, dairy is 30% of Pennsylvania's agricultural economy. What happens to dairy happens to the rest of the agricultural economy. We have done the dairy investment program. I'll just say that the markets are back up. They're probably in a better position today than we've been the last 3 years in dairy. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing. Yeah. Total dairy consumption is up. That's a good thing. The fluid milk continues to challenge us. What Representative Lawrence is looking at is, the state of Maine has a model that they collect premium out of the marketplace and distribute back. And one of his bills would give us the authority to do that. So
I think the other bill was a KOZ zone.
Yes, right.
Which I would help support that.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's on board with that, but I would.
Yeah, but I think they're great ideas. What's most important is he's thinking about, you guys are thinking about, well, how do we respond to this, right? We've all find ourselves in this awkward spot of trying to figure out a major piece of agriculture in transition, right? Trying to play on a competitive field both here and nationally. So, but I appreciate your support and focus on agriculture and dairy.
Oh yeah, and there are a lot of small dairy farmers that have been going out of business. Yeah. They're struggling. They're just not making a profit.
Right.
So we try to keep them in business. So.
We love them, because when you lose those farms, you lose more than the farm.
That's right.
Right. You lose the jobs. You lose all of that supply. Sure. And local purchasing power. So.
And it's usually more than one family. It's several families. So.
Right. Yeah.
Well, you know what? This was a great interview.
It's great. It's always good to be with you. Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
And thank you for your leadership in the Department of Ag. I mean, you do a wonderful job. I know the General Assembly is really happy with you, everything you've done. And I just would urge you to keep doing what you're doing, because we like it.
We're going to do it. We've got a chance this week to tell the great story of Ag, so I appreciate your support.
So everybody, we're going to be at the farm show for the rest of the day. and come on out here. This is really a place to be.